That's awesome, man. I hope you have Quake. Hope you have Archangel. No. Alright, what is going on, my dudes? We're back here today with another one of these Act 7 Beta Quest Guide review videos, alright? So, this one today, we are going to be looking at the second quest. Now, as the last video went on, alright, I'm actually filming this one right after I filmed the last one, and I didn't expect to get as upset as that video went along, man. Like, it turns out I really just disliked this first quest a lot more than I remembered. And now the second quest, I actually particularly enjoyed quite a bit, which is funny enough. And it's funny, I asked Kabam Mike, I PM'd him, I said, hey man, or I said it publicly, I said, hey, quick question, the people who developed the first quest, did they develop the second quest? He was like, yeah. How many teams do you think that I have? And I said, I think you have 1 million. And that was the conversation that we had. But turns out, it's the same design team, and I don't know what they were doing in the first one, man, but they did a pretty great job in the second quest, and a lot of people that I know disagree. But I'm going to tell you why I think the second quest was designed wonderfully. It's because all of the nodes on the champions complement each other. They don't contradict each other like they did in the first quest. And I'll show you what I mean here. We're going to start off, we're going to go into rainbow again. We're going to go into circle this time, I guess, actually. So, the first node here, alright? This is going to be a common theme throughout this quest. When I was reading it, when I was scouting ahead, I expected to hate this path. Why? Because it looks like a classic ghost trap, alright? It looks like a Corvus trap, which is just nodes designed just to counter the best champions, right? But it's not like that. So, it's terminal velocity, so every crit, it's going to raise their defensive power gain rate up to 300%. That's a lot, alright? Critical setup. When the attacker ends combo with the same attack they ended their previous combo with, the attack is guaranteed critical hit. And there's also 90% reduced crit resistance. So, if you use any champion that isn't Ghost or Corvus, right, you're probably never going to crit unless you use that crit setup node. So what that does is it allows you, with 99% of the champions in the game, to completely ignore the terminal velocity for every single fight on this path. That is such good node design, my friends. That is awesome. The main node is terminal velocity, and then there's crit resistance and a way to crit if you want to. So if you want to do more damage, dude, you can, but you're gonna have to deal with some increased power gain. If you want to use Ghost, dude, you can, but you're gonna have to deal with increased power gain. Does that make sense? Does it make sense why that is good node design? But bleed, invulnerability, or do you bleed and bleed? What am I saying? Immunity, that's the word I'm looking for. But do you bleed and bleed immunity, toggle bleed immunity is bad design? Does that make sense? Does it make sense how Icarus buffed up an EMP modification, punished the player, but this rewards the player? Does that make sense? Because this is good node design. Let's move on. Up next we have here pressure gauge and power shield and aggression armor. This is a tougher path, man, but it's a great path. It's really good top to bottom. You can do this with pretty much anybody. So the attacker starts the fight with the pressure gauge value of 5. Landing basic attacks increases the value by 1. Blocking an attack or activating special decreases value by 1, okay? If the value reaches 0, the attacker's power is drained to 0. If the value reaches 10, the attacker receives a burst of damage that pretty much kills you, okay? There's also power shield and aggression armor. So, normally, I'd go on a tangent about passive degen damage that you just pretty much can't avoid. But do you see how you can avoid this? Do you see how this creates a different playstyle that you have to play around, right? As a player, it creates an RPG style environment, all right? It pretty much turns into parry, one hit, or parry, dash back, parry, dash back, parry, 5-hit combo. Does that make sense? It creates a playstyle that the player gets rewarded for playing into. All right? It's not, well, you do 5 hits and then, oh, there's some degen damage. No, you can avoid it entirely. I did this entire path and that didn't happen to me once. Also, sidebar, Namor can totally take advantage of that. There's one fight on this path I don't like. and that is Invisible Woman. That's because there's Power Shield, and I believe she's bugged with the Power Shield, where you can't really see what's going on with her shield thingy, with her invisibility. So you throw the first part of your special, and it's 400% increased attack, right? And she goes invisible, and then she kills you. Okay, so something's up there. That's just a bug, though, I believe. Also, this Void, I don't know about this Void here, because, you know, when you fight Void, you want to keep your combo multiples of 10, you want to be very aggressive, but you can't really do that on Pressure Gauge unless you're using Namor. So there's, like, that classic one counter thing, but I just feel like Void has to be removed, replaced with somebody else, and this bug with Invisible Woman has to be looked into, and then this path is good to go, man. Great job. Let's see. This path, I got problems with this one a little bit. Now, on one hand, I did this path completely itemless, okay? On the other hand, I don't like the way it's designed, all right? I'll tell you why. Special Burst Lockdown. So what that does is whenever the defender activates a special attack, the attacker is afflicted with both a heal block and a no ghost debuff, lasting 15 seconds and reducing armor rating by 40%. Okay, so yeah, there's an armor break, so it's pretty much there to counter ghosts. That's cool. Let's get over that. It is what it is, right? Here's the issue. There's close encounters, okay? So close encounters is already pretty annoying, all right? So you have to stay really close to the defender. You have to be really, really aggressive with this guy, or with the entire path, with every defender on the path. That way you don't degen. But you're really aggressive, so they gain power. So they throw a special attack, and then you get a heal block. So what is that? Well, that's just going to be unavoidable damage, dude. Like, it's just, there's no way around it. There's no way around it. And then there's, like, Juggernaut, who's going to go unstoppable, so you can't be aggressive with him. And you're just going to, it's just unavoidable damage. And take away the heal block, I don't care, dude. Leave the armor break, I don't care anymore. Leave the armor break, take away the heal block. You have to either take away the heal block or take away the close encounters. Or lower the freaking health pools. One of those three things, you gotta do it. You can't leave all three, all right? Aside from that, like I said, I did this path itemless. I believe Longshot is bugged, so look into that, guys. Like, just as a defender in general. But this path is fine, aside from the heal block, man. Like, I got through it itemless, but, like, Up next, we have Oscillate and Backboard Brawler, and also Personal Space. No big deal here, man. There are some decently tough defenders here. You know, there's Killmonger, and there's Nick Fury and Domino, Iron Man, Infinity War. I got through this path itemless as well. I got through most of these paths itemless, actually. The first quest, no chance. I used like 100 items per path. But this quest was well designed. Yeah, so Oscillate's annoying just because of that's. Here's the thing. So Oscillate, I feel like goes really, really well with Backboard Brawler because they get defensive and they go back to their corner, and then they're against the wall and they get that permanent passive fury. And also you go into them and they get more fury buffs, right? So you have to kind of like keep an eye on the Oscillate and stay away from them so that doesn't happen, and bait them in towards you by not holding block, etc. It creates an RPG element that's pretty tough to play around, but it's not impossible. That's good node design. I like it. This is like a really weird node, but I really, really like this path a lot. The Rich Get Richer and the Polka Dot Power. So this is really dope because they go together really, really well. So, whichever champion has more unique buffs, right, gain 12% of a bar of power every second. Now that's something you have to look out for the defenders for only a couple fights, and that is for Angela. Wolverine's gonna get his regeneration buff sometimes. Venom the Duck's only gonna have like one buff at a time. It's not like the Abyss Venom the Duck where he's just flush with buffs. And then Venom, of course. Venom, of course, gonna have a lot of buffs. And now the Silver Surfer, dude, I'm telling you right now, you're gonna want to use a champion with at least one buff against this guy because he has that Power Cosmic buff. So this path is great because Polka Dot Power, you have to use somebody with damage over time, and also if it's a champion with damage over time that also has buffs, well, you're just gaining a bunch of power, dude. You're consistently gaining power, and you're going to be gaining more power than the defender. So Nick Fury was great here, dude, because he has that Fury buff. He has the Fury buff, and he also has Bleed, all right? But this path can pretty much be done with anybody with damage over time. That Angela is kind of tough. That Silver Surfer will be tough if you don't have somebody with the buff, I'm telling you right now. So Nick Fury is a prime candidate for that path, but again, it's not too restrictive. Staggering Beauty. This path was great. New node here. While close to the defender, the attacker gains a stagger debuff every 3 seconds, nullifying their next buff. Okay, that's cool. Nullifying their next buff, staying away from the defender causes the staggers to gradually fall off. Now, that goes hand in hand with Power Draw. Whenever the attacker inflicts the defender with a damaging debuff, so whenever you use, damage over time, the attacker is granted a power gain buff, increasing defensive power rate by 10% for 10 seconds. So that power gain buff, it's going to increase your defensive power gain buff. So it's not going to do anything. It's only going to matter if you get hit. But here's the thing. If you're close to the defender, it's going to get nullified. And what happens when it gets nullified? Okay? Once the defender nullifies 7 buffs, they gain a power gain buff, granting 75% of max power over 10 seconds. That goes hand in hand with the past 2 nodes. Now here's the thing, man. If that said grants 150% power, well, that would be the same problems as Flow in Alliance War. But it is only 75% power, okay? So you could also, A, completely avoid this node entirely by not using a champ with someone with damage over time, or making sure they're at like 0 power when you inflict them with that power flood. What wonderful design, Kabam. Really great across the board. You can do this with pretty much anybody. Also, the defenders are kind of specific, so you're not going to want to use anybody. But of course, great design, man. All 3 nodes go hand in hand. They work really well together. I love it, honestly. Up next, we have a wonderful O2 Variant 2. Size Matters, Particle Protector, and Micro Reflect. This is nothing that we haven't seen before. If you did Variant 2, dude, you can do this path, dude. Red Hulk, Beast, Rhino, Sentinel, Thing, that could be tough. Champion, Dormammu, always annoying. But then we got this guy. Or this girl right here. This is the Storm Pyramid X, and she has glancing in her kit. So even if you're using an extra large champion, she's gonna glance you. So the only 2 options here are Quake and Namor to reflect the glancing damage. So I highly suggest and advise and plead with you to please consider changing this champion to a different champion, because there's no option here to avoid that unavoidable damage aside from Namor and Quake. And dude, we've been doing so good in this chapter of not having that, right? So let's not start here. Let's not end it on a bad note. Up next, we have, and by the way, with the Size Matters, you can use an extra large champion, but you can also use literally anybody and parry heavy, like you did in Variant 2. All right. Power Struggle and Strike Back. Dude, this is such a good node combo. How did you do so good in Quest 2 but so bad in Quest 1? How? How? So Power Struggle, the attacker cannot gain power during normal means, right? They gain a bar power, you gain. They use, you lose. Here's what happens with Strike Back though. You get to a special 1, right? Because they get to a special 1. You use your special 1. They go up to a special 2, and then you go right back up to a special 1. Now, if you choose to, you use your special 1 again, they'll go to a special 3, you'll pop up to a special 1. And that's how that's going to work. Or for example, let's say you're using Corvus, right? You get to a special 2. You pop off your special 2, Strike Back happens, you go up to a special 1. Your special 2 power drains the opponent. Now you push them back to a special 3, right? You use your special 2 again because you got a bar of power from that, and then they're power drained again, and you can bait out their special 2, but they're probably dead. This is a great node combination that rewards players for playing with an RPG element and playing intuitively, and the 2 nodes go together in a very unique way. I love it. Also, the defenders aren't too bad, except for that Mephisto. Watch out for that guy. Saving the best for last. Saving the best for last. Up next, we have Mercy. Now, Mercy, a lot of people are losing their minds over Mercy. I don't hate Mercy. I hate Bubble Shield. That's what I hate. Mercy can be done with just about any champion if you play it very uniquely, all right? I used a bunch of different champions when I was testing this, all right? I used champions I used Quake to completely ignore it. I used Ghost because it seems like you shouldn't use Ghost. And I used my Stealth Spidey because he's a generic style champion. He's not like a Quake or a Ghost. And here's the thing, all right? The way Mercy works is that the defender reduces damage taken from all sources by 90%, which always sucks. That's a bad design. Let's maybe change that to 50%, all right? unless under the effect of a mercy passive. Whenever the attacker avoids a hit with a dexterity massive, they gain a mercy passive. Executing a parry will remove all mercy passives from the attacker and apply them to the defender. That's cool, dude. So what I did was I would go into the corner and I would like dex their full combo. All 5 hits. Dex, 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 dex. Dex, 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 dex. I would get about 20 mercy combos on me. 20. Then I would parry. Then I would have 30 seconds to attack, right? And that's how I was doing damage. I did that with Stealth Spidey. I did that with Ghost. Let me tell you though, that got really annoying after a while. So what did I do? I ended up using Quake for most of it. Archangel also completely ignores it, okay? Quake ignores it. Archangel ignores it with their defensive ability accuracy reduction. So that's probably what I would do, man. Like, but here's the thing. You can do this path with pretty much anybody. So that's a decent design, right? It's a little restrictive, but you can do it with anybody. It's not like in the last quest where it's like if you don't have this counter, you're not doing it. This is like if you don't have the counters, well, you can do it, but it's going to take you a minute and it's not going to be that fun, all right? Bubble Shield, get rid of it, dude. Just get rid of it here. Let people take it slow and do like 3 dexes and parry, right? And let them do that until they get through the fight. Don't punish them for parrying like you're supposed to in Mercy. Get rid of that, dude. It's ruining it. It's ruining it. That's the issue there for me. Let's talk about the mini bosses because I like one of them and I hate 2 of them. Gladiator Hulk. This guy has, not Freezer Burn, he has Staggering Beauty, Power Draw, and Nullify Countdown. Like I said before, I love that node. I love it. I love the combination. If you want to use someone with damage over time, well, just make sure he's at 0 power when you finally get that last power gain buff on you and it gets staggered. There you go. You're good to go. Or just don't use somebody with damage over time. He has about 500,000 health. It's going to be a decently long fight, but great design across the board. This guy over here, Morningstar. I don't love this one. I don't love this one here. And why? It's because he's got that special burst lockdown, dude, and close encounters. So let's see. Close encounters, you have to be very aggressive with Morningstar, all right? But you don't want to push her to a special 2 because that's always dodgy, right? But when she throws off her special 1, well, she's gonna, she's gonna heal block you. And she's gonna armor break you. But you're not gonna heal from the armor break with willpower because you're heal blocked. Also, when you hit her, she's gonna make you bleed. Okay. So why wouldn't I use Quake? How is Quake not like the only really, really amazing option here? Get rid of the heal block. Or get rid of the close encounters. You gotta, dude. It's too much. It's just unavoidable BS. If you want to talk about unavoidable BS, I'm sure you guys have seen this guy, right? Let's look at him. Zoom in on his face here. Ooh, look at those mutton chops. Look at those mutton chops, right? Beautiful, beautiful. Mercy, we've seen that. Recovery, healing and regen abilities recover 150% more health. Wow, on Sabretooth. Let's combine that with Aspect of War. That's awesome, man. I hope you have Quake. Hope you have Archangel. No, this is going to be changed. Like, I'm not even going to talk about how terrible this is because it's going to be changed. They know it. If it's not changed, then I don't know, man. MODOK. This also has to be changed. Way too restrictive, dude. Way too restrictive, dude. These nodes right here hardly matter. Except for Clapback because that just takes out Nick Fury. Great. You ranked up your Nick Fury to take MODOKs? You ranked up your Killmonger to take MODOKs? Well, not anymore you don't. Ha! What, you like using Gwenpool for your MODOK? Well, not anymore you don't. Okay. All the best MODOK counters, well, they usually have bleed. Not anymore. Let's see. Let's see here. Biohazard, Limber, and Freezer Burn. Wow. That's a lot of debuffs. It's a lot of them. So the way these linked nodes work is that you take away one of them and you're left with the other 2, okay? So, a lot of people say, oh, use Colossus. Use Colossus here. All right. You're going to have Limber up for 6 out of 9 of the fights. You want to fight a 650,000 health MODOK with Limber up? What are you going to do, parry heavy? You can't parry heavy. Can't do that with Limber. It's not going to work. Freezer Burn and Biohazard. And also Clapback. Don't forget Clapback. That's pretty restrictive, man. Let me ask you a question. Who are you really going to use here aside from Quake? Okay, Limber is up 6 out of 9 times. So you can use Colossus like, well, 3 times. Okay, I'll use Colossus 3 times. Dope. The other 6 times, probably just gonna use Quake. I soloed this guy like most of the time with Quake. It was about an 8-minute fight each time. Not really, probably less than that, but like 5 minutes. But still, dude. 650,000 health. With Biohazard, Freezer Burn, Limber, Clapback, on MODOK. Let's fix that. Let's just fix that. MODOK, great boss. Great idea for a boss. First of all, I don't know, man. Like, is MODOK a good boss? Yeah, but MODOK's already been a boss, right? If this loads right now, I'm having some low internet speed today. Yeah, there we go. MODOK's been a boss. Right here. Why are we having MODOK again? So many champions in this game, dude. I need MODOK. Look at that. We already got him. And look at that. It's the same nodes, dude. Force field charges can only be removed from heavy attacks. Same nodes. Nah. I don't know. I don't know, dude. We'll see. Overall, I like this quest a lot more, okay? The boss and the mini bosses are a little too restrictive, but overall, I think that the lanes can be done by a large variety of champions, and that is what differs Quest 2 from Quest 1. Again, this video went on for way too long, and I'm very sorry about that. I didn't mean for that to happen, but I just started rambling and I had a lot to say. You know what I mean? Alright, my dudes, if you like this video, do me a favor and smash that like button. Comment what you think about this quest and if you like it better than the first quest, alright? Subscribe if you want to see some more content coming to you very soon. I don't know if I'm going to get the 3rd quest done before this beta is over. I've been kind of busy and I haven't gotten around to really doing it yet. I went through one path and so far I'll say I do enjoy it. I do like what's going on in the 3rd quest. If I do a review here, I'll just like do a couple fights on each path and then I'll probably just do like a voiceover of it, okay? So I'll probably definitely make that at least. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Hit that little bell so you get notifications so you never miss a video. I'll be seeing you real soon.